Good morning, students. Now, the topic is, which I am going to explain is, will the land sustain? Sustain means not land sustainability means not only we can use it in present but also keep it for the future. So, will the land sustain? Land is a natural resource. Modern farming method have overused the natural resource base. How modern farming method have overused the natural resource base? Because the main uh, input of modern farming method are fertilizers, and overuse of chemical fertilizer results in loss of soil fertility. Overuse of chemical fertilizers results in loss of soil fertility. How? Because certain amount of chemical fertilizers can be used for the soil fertility, but for getting more and more crops, and the farmers are overusing the chemical fertilizers, which results in loss of soil fertility. How? If first year of the use of modern farming method, if less chemical is required, more than that the next year the chemical fertilizers will be required, and the third year more than the first 2 years the chemical fertilizers will be required, because the farmers are overusing the chemical fertilizers, which results in loss of soil fertility, because the soil, because of the overuse of chemical fertilizers, the soil fertility is destroyed. How it is destroyed? Chemical fertilizers can kill bacteria and other microorganisms in the soil. So with that overuse, the natural growth of plant is not possible. So more and more chemical fertilizers are used, which is losing the fertility of soil. The continuous use of fertilizer had led to degradation of soil health. Soil health means the fertility of soil. If the more chemical fertilizer will be used, along with that the more water will be required. So the another natural resource, not only the soil is getting degraded, also the continuous use of groundwater through tube wells reduce the water table below the ground. So how? Because the chemical fertilizers, if the modern farming method is used and the farmer is using chemical fertilizers, they have to use more water because it requires more water, and overusing, so more and more water. From where they will get the water? Through the tube wells, and tube wells are taking out the ground water, which is reducing the water table below the ground. So we must take care of both, means not only soil fertility, also the water table, groundwater, which is called groundwater, that also we should take care for the future development of agriculture, because not only soil fertility should remain, also the water availability should remain for the development of agriculture. So we must take care of both for future development of agriculture. This is the meaning, will the land sustain? Because we are using more and more chemical fertilizers, and with that we are which results in loss of soil fertility, and it is also resulting in the continuous use of groundwater through tube wells, which is reducing the water table below the ground. So we must take care of both, not only soil fertility, also we have to take care of groundwater, so that future development of agriculture can be fruitful. Now let's see the next section. How is the land distributed between the farmers of Palampur? One thing you have to do, I have explained you about the fertility, modern farming method, why the overuse of chemical fertilizers. On page number 5, one paragraph on chemical fertilizers is given. You go through it and underline the important points related to chemical fertilizers. So what are the harmful effects of chemical fertilizers? That has been written on page number 5 and 6 in one paragraph. So you have to go through it. The basic concept related to this is that only land is a natural resource. With modern farming method, we have overused the natural resource base, in which natural resource base is the fertility of soil as well as the groundwater. We are utilizing more and more. So not only soil fertility, also groundwater is getting reduced day by day. So we must take care of both, not only soil fertility, also we have to take care of groundwater for the future development of agriculture. And don't forget to go through the paragraph which is given on chemical fertilizers harmful effect on page number 5 and 6. Now let's see the next section, how is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur. Now let's see how is the land distributed between the farmers of Palampur. It is shown in picture 1.5 on page number 6 in your book. So I have tried to explain it with the table. So if you will make table, it will be easier for you to learn. So first is serial number, the second is categories, third is numbers, and fourth is land, how much land they have. So first is landless families. How many numbers? 150. They don't have any land. Small farmers family, they are 240 in numbers. They are having less than 2 hectares of land. Medium and large farmers families are 60. They are having more than 2 hectares of land per family. Per family, small farmers family, per farmer are having less than 2 hectares. Here also per farmer are having more than 2 hectares. Means medium and large farmers families are having more land as compared to the small farmers family. The numbers are more of small farmers and the numbers are less of medium and large farmers. But the medium and large farmers are having more land as compared to the small farmers. So let's see it through an example given in your book. So first you go through this table, make this table so that it will be easier for you to learn. One story of Govind is also given in your book, in which law of inheritance has been explained. Law of inheritance is when the father dies, his property is distributed among their sons. So the same story has been explained through the story of Govind. And Govind was owning the farmer with 2.25 hectares of land. He was having 3 sons. When the land was distributed, it became 0.75 to all hectare in size. 0.75 because 2.25 hectare land was there. It has been distributed to in 3 of his son. So it will be 2.25 will be divided by 3. It will be 0.75 hectare. So the land became small, which was father was owing the large land, but the son is owing the small, and further it will get smaller and smaller as with the law of inheritance, and because again it will be distributed among their sons. So like that the plot of land will become smaller and smaller, and in which the agricultural activities are very difficult to fulfill the livelihood, because for that in story of Govind it is given that for that they are dependent on other. Father was comfortably able to feed their his family, but after the distribution of land the son's condition was not so good, so they have to depend on, along with land they have to depend on other livelihood for sources for their survival. So that story it shows that if the land will become small and smaller, how the condition of farmer will improve. So through the story of Govind, this has been explained. So you go through the story which is given on page number 6, which I have explained just now. Through this diagram, you can see in this diagram, cultivated area, 36% cultivated area is occupied by small farmers, and they are how many in numbers? 80%. In the Palampur, they are 80% in numbers, and they are having only how much land? 36%. Medium and large farmers are only 20% in numbers, but they are having 64% of the land of the Palampur. It shows that the distribution of land is unequal in Palampur. So, more land is occupied by medium and large farmers. So, condition of medium and large farmers are far better than the small farmers. And you can think about the landless, what the condition of what their condition will be. So, let's see who will provide the labor in this case. So, already medium and large farmers are there, they need for farm activity laborers. Small farmers are there, they also need for farming, they also need some laborers. So, how they are providing? So, let's see who will provide the labor. So, first thing is clear, the production of thing required, land. So, land, how the land is distributed, who is owning the land, how much land they are having, that is clear. Now, the next factors of production is labor. So, let's see the labor. So, who will provide the labor? We are same thing I am explaining to you, and in story also the same thing has been explained. Like first, how the different production factors of production have been combined to produce the farming producing the crops through the farming. So, let's see the next factor of production, who will provide the labor. Now, let's see who will provide the labor. So, the large and medium farmers hire landless families and families cultivating small plots of land as labor. So, they get the large and medium farmer get the labor through the landless families and families cultivating small plots of land. What about the small farmers? Small farmers cultivate their own fields along with their family members. So, they provide the required labor themselves. So, the difference is that large and medium farmers hire laborers, but the small farmers cultivate their own fields along with their family members. So, they provide the required labor themselves. So, large and medium farmers hire laborers to whom? Landless family. So, who will provide the labor? So, landless families and families cultivating small plots of land will provide the labor, and small farmers, they provide the required labor themselves. Now, let's see how the process takes place. Now, let's see the process, how the farm laborers get the wages and how they work. So, farm laborers do not have the right over the crops grown on the land. They are growing for the farmers who are owning the land. So, for them they are growing the crop, but they do not have the right over the crops grown on the land. Who are having the right? The farmer who on whose land they are working. So, what they get? They get wages. So, they are paid. They means laborers are paid wages by the farmers for whom they work. For whom they are working, they give them wages. Wages can be in cash. Cash means money also they can get, or kind. Or kind means example, crop or meal. In place of cash, they can get crop, some share of crop or meals. So, that can be wages can be in form of cash or in kind, example crop or meals. Let's see the wages, how the wages vary from region to region, crop to crop, from one farm activity to another. Duration of work also varies. So wages vary widely from region to region. Like the farmers in Punjab get more wages as compared to farm laborers in Punjab will get more wages as compared to the farm laborers in Uttar Pradesh. So why such disparity is there, that we will go through the example of Dala. So where the population is more, the competition is more, so people agree to work at lower wages, and that's why in Uttar Pradesh the population is more as compared to Punjab. So the people are agreed to work at lower wages also. So that's why this disparity is there. So wages vary widely from region to region. I have given you example of Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. Why this disparity? Because Punjab is very agriculturally very developed region, and Uttar Pradesh is also having very fertile soil. They are also, many people are involved in agriculture, but the condition of farmers of Uttar Pradesh and the farmers of Punjab is totally very different. So the farm laborers, not only farmers' condition are different, also the farm laborers' conditions are different. That's why people migrate from Uttar Pradesh and they go to Punjab for working in their farms, because there they get wages more as compared to the Uttar Pradesh or Bihar region. From crop to crop also it varies. Suppose Kharif crop is there, paddy is grown, paddy needs more labor work, so they get more wages as compared to the Rabi crop. Rabi crop is wheat, so for during sowing season of crop, so crop to crop also varies, Kharif or Rabi crop. So in Kharif crop they get more wages as compared to Rabi crop. This is only the example I am providing you. From one farm activity to another. From one farm activity, what are the farm activities? Like sowing, harvesting are the farm activities. So from for sowing they will get more, for sowing they will get more, or for harvesting they will get more. It depends on the crop which they are growing. Duration of work also varies. Either they will be hired for daily basis, either they will be hired only for one farm activity. One farm activity means only for sowing or only for harvesting or for the whole year. So that also varies. Here the example of Dala has been given in your book on page number 8, that Dala is a labor who is working on the farm, and landless farm laborer who works on daily wages. Dala is a landless farm laborer who works on daily wages. How much he gets? Dala gets only rupees 160 per day. But minimum wages set by the government is how much? Rupees 300 per day. But he is getting just half of that. Why? Because there is heavy competition for work among the farm laborers in Palampur. So people agree for work for lower wages. Why they work for lower wages? Because there is a heavy competition. Heavy competition means more people are there to work as a labor. So for work among the farm laborers in Palampur, there is heavy competition for work among the farm laborers in Palampur. So people agree for work for lower wages. Like example is given of Dala. Dala gets only rupees 60 per day, but minimum wages set by the government is rupees 300 per day. In different books, different data is given. You write this only. This is the latest one, latest given in the book. So this you have to write. You just correct it if any other data is given. Dala gets how much? Rupees 160 per day. Minimum wages set by the government is how much? 300 per day. So why it is so? Why Dala gets less than the minimum wages set by the government? If this question will be asked, what will be the answer? There is heavy competition for work among the farm laborers in Palampur. So people agree for work for lower wages, and you can give the example of Dala. Like this you can explain. Now I think the condition of labor is clear to you, how they are getting wages, what the condition of the wages, how much they are getting, what is the minimum wages set by the government, and why they are not getting. So that all the question is very clear, all the answer is very clear to you. Now next section is of the first factor of production we have discussed, land. Second factor of production we have discussed, labor. Now the third factor of production is the capital. So the capital needed in farming. What the capital needed in farming, that we will discuss. Now this I have explained about the labors with the story of Dala, which is given on page number 8. You just go through it, and whenever the question will be asked, why the farm laborers get less than the minimum wages set by the government. So reason is there is heavy competition for work among the farm laborers in Parampur. So people agree for work for lower wages. Now let's see the third factor of production, capital. So the capital needed in farming. Now the capital needed in farming. As you know that modern farming method require a great deal of capital, so that the farmers now needs more money than before. So if more money is needed, how they arrange for the capital? Capital is the amount of money which is invested for the production. So the investment is done through the purchasing seeds, purchasing farm equipments, whatever it is. So capital needed in farming, that depends on the money, how much money they have, how much money the farmer have. So most small farmers, those who are having small plots of land, they are in the category of small farmers. So most small farmers have to borrow money to arrange for the capital. So capital, when it is invested for the production, so they borrow money to arrange for the capital, to invest for the production. They borrow from large farmers, money lenders or traders, those who provide them inputs for the cultivation. So the rate of interest on such loans, such loans on which loans? Which are provided by the large farmers, money lenders or traders. The rate of interest on such loans are very high. Medium and large farmers have their own savings from farming. They are thus able to arrange for the capital needed. They don't need to borrow from others, as they are having their own saving. Not only they are able to arrange the capital needed for themselves, they also lend the money to others, as they who are borrowing money from large farmers, small farmers are borrowing money from large farmers. So large farmers are not having their own savings for from farming, and that saving they utilize not only for the capital needed as well as for lending the money. So this is what the condition of farmer is. So most small farmers have to borrow money to arrange for the capital. They borrow from large farmers, money lenders and traders. The rate of interest on such loans are very high. Medium and large farmers have their own savings from farming. They are thus able to arrange for the capital needed. Not only they are able to arrange for the capital needed, they also lend money to the small farmers. When they take money, it is called borrow. When they give money, it is called lending money. So who lend the money? Large farmers lend the money to the small farmers. So they arrange the capital for themselves as well as they lend money to the small farmers. So they are having their own, from their own saving, they are arranging capital needed as well as they are lending the money to the small farmers. So these 2 points are very important regarding the capital needed in farming. How the small farmers are arranging? By borrowing money from large farmers, money lenders or traders, by paying high rate of interest. And medium and large farmers, from where they are getting the capital? From their own saving, and they are able to arrange for the capital need. Now let's see through the story of Savita what the condition of small farmer is. Let's see the story of Savita. Savita is a small farmer. She plans to cultivate wheat on her 1 hectare of land. Besides seed, fertilizers and pesticide, she needs cash to buy water and repair her farm instrument. She estimates that the working capital itself would cost a minimum of rupees 3,000. She decides to borrow money from Tejpal Singh. Who is Tejpal Singh? Large farmer. Terms on which Savita gets loan from Tejpal Singh. So these are the terms. First term, at a very high interest rate of 24% for 4 months. She has to take how much money? Rupees 3,000. At a very high interest rate of 24% for 4 months, which is a very high rate of interest. So Savita also has to promise to work on Tejpal Singh's field as a farm labourer during the harvest season at rupees 100 per day, which is very less than the minimum government norms also. Government norm is how much? Rupees 300 per day, and she gets only hundreds. She will get only 100 per day. But then also she agrees. Why? Because she knows getting a loan is difficult for a small farmer. So Savita needs working capital, money in hand, how much? Rupees 3,000. Working capital means money in hand, or raw material is called working capital. Here working capital means the money in hand to repair the farm equipments, for purchasing seeds, for other things, whatever things needed. So she needs money in hand, how much? 3,000. She decides to borrow money from Tejpal Singh, large farmers. On which terms? First, at a very high interest rate of 24% for 4 months. Second condition, Savita also has to promise to work on Tejpal Singh's field as a farm labourer during the harvest season at rupees 100 per day. Why she agrees to work on these terms? Because she knows getting a loan is difficult for a small farmer. So why getting a loan is difficult for a small farmer? They are having the other option, bank, but they are not able to get it from the bank. But if she would get the loan from the bank, her condition would be much better, because she has not to pay such a high interest rate. She has not to work on any other large farmers field. So that, and with that, she will be in great mental distress, and which is harmful for her physical as well as mental health. But on this term she agrees, because for a small farmers it is very difficult to get loan from the bank. That you will study in the 10th class about it in detail, why it is very difficult. But another condition was what? From where she could get the loan, that is bank. But if she would have got the loan from the bank, her condition would be much better. Why? Because she will not pay such high rate of interest. She has not to work on the others large farmers field. So, but why she agrees? Because she knows getting a loan is very difficult for a small farmer. So this is the terms on which Savita gets loan from Tejpal Singh. These are the two conditions on which the Savita gets loan from Tejpal Singh. So this story is given on page number 9. You can go through the story. I have told the story, the conclusion of the story, or main concept of the story I have explained, and you can go through the story on page number 9. After that, you have to fill the blanks which is given on page number 9 and 10. Let's discuss the story so far. Under the heading, let's discuss the story so far. That fill in the blanks are there, and that you have to fill. If you will be able to fill it correctly, that means you have understood the story till now. So if you have understood the story, you will be able to fill those blanks. Don't see the book. First you go through the story, then you try to fill without the help of turning the pages. Honestly, you try to fill those blanks. Then only it is going to fruitful for you, as you will understand whether you have understood the story properly or not. If you are having any doubt in those fill in the blanks, if any doubt you are having, you can ask to me. You can message me so that I can answer that. But I will provide you the answer also if needed. Then you can ask from me. But I am sure that without my help, you will be able to fill those blanks, and because the story is very clear to you. So first go through the story, then you try to fill those blanks. Page number 9 and 10. Now next section is sale of surplus farm products. There are two types of farmers, small farmers and medium and large farmers. Two categories are there. So small farmers like Savita and Govind keep the produce for their own family needs. They don't have surplus, very much surplus to sell in the market. So why? Because they are having very small plot of land, so they are able to feed their own family with that. So they keep the produce for their own family needs. So medium and large farmers supply wheat to the market. If example of wheat, supply produce to the market, supply crop, that is grains to the market. Wheat I have given the example, but you can say the any produce. So medium and large farmers supply produce to the market, whether it is wheat, whether it is paddy. So they supply it to the market. They sell to the traders. Traders sell it further to shopkeepers in the towns and cities. So by selling to the traders, they get good profit. So large farmers get good profit by selling the surplus produce in the market. So first what they do, they arrange the work, they deposit it in the bank. Whatever profit they get in form of money, they deposit it in the bank. So next year when the sowing season comes, they arrange the working capital needed for farming. With that saving, with their saving, what they do, the large farmers like Tejpal Singh arrange the working capital needed for farming. Next step, they also spend their saving for fixed capital, like for purchasing tractors, threshers, other farm machineries. They used to purchase the farm machineries. Even some are spending the amount for opening the shops, for purchasing buffaloes, so or for purchasing cattle. So whatever they do, they spend their saving for fixed capital. Not only for working capital, they arrange the for the fixed capital also. They spend the saving for fixed capital also. Along with that, they lend money. Lend, when they give money to another, that is called lending money. If they, like Savita is borrowing the money. Savita's story I have told you, she is borrowing the money from Tejpal Singh. So large farmers like Tejpal Singh, they lend money to small farmers at high interest rate. Small farmers like Savita. So they lend money to small farmers at high interest rate. So not only they arrange the capital for themselves, they also lend the money and get the high rate of interest. Like that, they become more economically developed than the small farmers. So these are the condition of small farmers and medium and large farmers, how they arrange, how they sell the surplus. Small farmers are not having surplus because they are having very small plot of land, so they keep the produce for their own family needs. But medium and large farmers supply produce to the market, and they sell to the traders. Traders sell further to shopkeepers in the towns and cities. By selling to the traders, the large farmers like Tejpal Singh get good profit. They deposit it in the bank. They arrange with their saving, they arrange the working capital needed for farming for next year, and they also spend their saving for fixed capital like purchasing tractors, threshers, or farm machineries, or kettles, or opening a shop. So they are spending money for their fixed capital also. They also, with their saving, they lend money to small farmers at high interest rate. So they are getting profit from the lending money also. So likewise, this is the condition of large farmers. Sale, and how it is possible? By selling the surplus farm products in the market. Now, this till here I have explained about the farm activities in Palampur. So, in starting of the story, I have told you there are two types of activities in Palampur: farm activities and non-farm activities. Now, we will see what are the non-farm activities in Palampur. 75% people are involved in farm activities in Palampur, and 25% people are involved in non-farm activities in Palampur. Let's see what are the non-farm activities in Palampur. Now, non-farm activities in Palampur, only 25% people are engaged in it. So, the first category is dairy. Milk is sold and transported to faraway towns and city through the traders who have set up collection cum chilling centers at Raiganj. That is, in story it is given, the Raiganj is a place from Shahpur is a town and Raiganj is a village. So, big village. So, that two traders from Shahpur town have set up collection cum chilling centers at Raiganj, from where the milk is transported to far away towns and cities. And dairy is common activity in many families of Palampur. They sold milk is sold in Raiganj, and from there traders take it to the faraway towns and cities. Small scale manufacturing is done. Jaggery is manufactured at small scale from sugar cane. So jaggery is manufactured. Mishri Lal's story is given, in which he takes the raw material as sugar cane, which is his working capital, and sugar cane crushing machine, which is his fixed capital. With the help of the capital, and who provides the labor? Mishri Lal, he himself run the machinery, and he himself produced the jaggery. So labor, he only is the labor in this category. So this is done at very small scale. So jaggery is produced at very small scale with sugar cane crushing machine, and along with the that raw material which is purchased from the farmers, and it is sugar cane crushing machine is run by electricity, and this is in the story of Mishri Lal it has been explained. So how the jaggery is manufactured from sugar cane. So that you have to read the story and you have to understand. I have told that raw material is what? Sugar cane, which is working capital. Sugar cane crushing machine is fixed capital, and who provide the labor? Mishri Lal, he himself do the work, so he is the labor. And what he do? He produces jaggery and he gets the small profit. Why he gets the small profit? Because his cost of production is low. He himself, he has not hired the labor, so no need of money to give to other people. He himself do the work at to manufacture the jaggery, and raw material he purchased from the farmers, that is sugar cane, and crushing machine he already has is having, so which is a fixed capital. Along with that, he manufactures jaggery. Only the example is given. Many people are involved in that small scale manufacturing, and less than 50 people are engaged in manufacturing in Palampur. So only example of Mishri Lal is given, how they are producing the jaggery from sugar cane. So next example is shopkeepers. Shops are of daily needs along with stationery, eatables, and along with that a computer center is also there. Kareem's story is given, how he get trained himself for the computer, attending the college in Shahpur town, and then he found to he started teaching the students, uh, and he opens the computer center. So like that, a category of shops are there. Daily needs also, stationery also. Eatables means the all the shops which provide eatable items, that is called eatables. So computer centers also, in that also the students get training. So shops are of different category. Transportation also is there. All types of vehicles, traditional to modern vehicles are there. Through story of Kishora it has been explained. All type of vehicles, traditional to modern, means including rickshaw wala, jeep, tractors, truck, everything is there for the transportation. Through story of Kishora it has been explained. So dairy is non-farm activity, small scale manufacturing is non-farm activity, shopkeeping is non-farm activity, transportation is non-farm activity. So here all these activities are not related to agriculture. That's why it has been categorized in non-farm activities in Palampur. So through the story it has been explained that you have to read. This is the about the first chapter, the story of village Palampur, through which how the factors of production have been combined to get the produce, how the activities are performed. That is, there are three activities: primary, secondary and tertiary. Primary is agriculture, secondary is small scale manufacturing, and tertiary is shopkeeping and transportation. So like this, all the activities has been explained through the story. On page number 13 in your book, the summary of the story is given. That is must to read after reading the chapter, because with that summary only you will be able to understand the chapter better. After the explanation, you go through the chapter once more. If you are having any problem, you can text me the message through WhatsApp, and also you can call me if you are having any problem. So go through the summary, and you have to do the question answer by your own in your notes copy. If you are having any problem in writing, some of the answers are in notes only, so there you can mark the page number of notes, and you can do in you can mention the page number of your notes copy in the book itself. So many answers you will get if you will prepare the notes. In that only you will get the answers. Only you have to do that. For answers you have to write the page numbers. Each and every question answer you will get through the explanation. So there is, if any doubt in any of the question, you can ask from me. So after completing, this chapter has been complete. After completing the reading, you go through the summary and try to write the question answer. If any doubt, question answer no need to write if it is already mentioned in the notes. Only you mention the page number of notes and in the front of question, and maximum answer has been provided in the explanation, has been discussed in the explanation. So one thing, if then also you are having any doubt in any of the answer, you can contact me, you can message me, I will sort out your problem.